Come on, let's be positive. Just stop right there. No negativity. Let's be positive. LBP, let's be positive.
All right, mate, let's be positive, mate. How long did it take to house train your mutt?
Oh, I never house trained the mutt. It's taken, it's taken 13 years now for my dog to calm down, Martin. So, look, I heard from you that...
13 years?
Just calm down now. Yeah, well, we're not very good dog owners in that sense, the training bit. When you said you were going to puppy training, I thought you were in Sydney going to the Bulldogs training, which I certainly got excited about. And then I thought, well, hang on a sec, maybe he's the one being puppy trained. Well, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. What sort of dog have you got?
It's a doodly something, mate. It's a Labradoodly something.
Oh, right. So it's one of them little crosses. Now, Lachlan said you're bringing it to work in a purse.
Yeah,
a handbag dog.
Well, no, it's not. It's just it's not a look. I've got the laptop. I've got the iPad. I've got my stuff to bring. I've got lunch to bring. I've got his stuff to bring. His blanket, his toys, his food, and everything else. And so, just to be safe, because he hasn't had all his shots, see, I've got him in a little carry bag that I'm carrying him with. Okay, so it's not exactly a purse dog, no. But honestly, mate, it's like having a baby in the house again. Okay, so the only thing is that with a baby, you know where its ablutions are going, and so you're just going to be cleaning up. Full time clean bum. That's what you're doing, right? This thing here, you know what dogs are like once they're inside. Unless you're watching them like a hawk, they'll go. So yeah, look, I'm not moaning, but it's just been a tiring weekend. I feel like I've just been up all night, with him, and so.
Oh, look, back into the early days of the relationship with a young animal, Martin. It is like having a child. I don't know why they haven't invented dog nappies.
Yeah.
To be fair. Have you got hard floors or
hard floors, mate? No, hard floors. And what I've done is
hard floors. You're all right.
No, and I've actually, that plastic. I went to Bunnings, got the plastic, which you plastic over all your rugs and all of that kind of stuff. So at least it's an easy clean, and you're not getting the smell in them. So, okay, honestly, mate. Anyway, look. Anyway, so it just makes me sit there and seethe when I'm watching like the Black Caps capitulate to Bangladesh, and all the excuses in the world, mate. We're not playing over in the subcontinent. The pitches. There's spinners. We were at the One Day World Cup. We weren't at the One Day World Cup. I don't accept any of it. New Zealand should be beating Bangladesh when we play cricket. Yes.
Oh, 100%. Yes. I mean, there's no two ways about it, Martin. It wasn't that long ago. World Test champions.
Yeah. I know.
And now being beaten by the Bangers. Look, I know that the One Day World Cup threw up some upsets. So there were some results there that nobody expected. But I tell you what, I didn't expect pants down against the Bangers in this test either, Martin. And, well, you have to be able to score runs. What's going on? Bangladesh, hardly the nation that you would say is a real up-and-comer like the female Pakistani side.
No, so it doesn't get any better, does it? The White Ferns setting new records themselves, never having lost to that side before.
Look, at the end of the day, the Ferns will concede that they didn't play the way that they should have played. But just a reminder, this is an up-and-coming side, and it was going to happen at some point. Pakistan were going to win at some point, and they have, and it was only by 7 wickets.
We've just been thrashed at both men's and women's cricket, mate. Good God. But speaking of getting thrashed at cricket, well, how about Mitch Johnson coming out and just searing bounces aimed at David Warner's head? He shouldn't get a testimonial. He shouldn't be treated like a hero, and he should bloody well own up to Sandpaper Gate. I'm delighted that Johnson's done this, but I'm really surprised. Are you?
I'm very surprised, but I 100% agree with what he's saying. I mean, I've thought the same thing myself. I thought the same thing when he came back. And Smithy. They've been involved in one of the biggest scandals ever, and it just kind of... Well, they put him on the sidelines for a while, and then it all just went away. And everyone just had to accept that 100% these two blokes deserved another go. And I remember saying at the time that I didn't really necessarily feel like they should be blacklisted forever. But at the same time, I didn't really want to go and see them succeed. And the last thing we need is for David Warner to plan his own finish.
Yeah. It just doesn't seem right, does it? I mean, here's a guy that's kind of epitomised everything that most of us don't like about cricket. The way that he treats the umpires, the spit and the vile and the so-called sledging, which is not, it's just foul-mouth abuse, cheating on the field, and then doing the manufactured press conference, walk in with his children late at night. Oh, God, he's a father. And look, it was all just so contrived. He's not a nice guy. He's never been a nice guy. And so why should he be celebrated?
Oh, well, I agree. I mean, look, he has put the numbers on the board, but as Johnson says in his article, surely it's as much about what you bring to the game or take from the game as it is about the numbers that you put up during your time in the game. And when we look back at the greats in sport, they normally not only carry the prestige of being fantastic performers, but often they bring with that a part of themselves to the game which becomes sort of warming. And Warner has done anything but that. So he can be remembered as a great player, but not particularly a great bloke. And so, look, does he deserve a testimonial, service to the game and all that? Well, I would say that the detriment to the game has probably shone as brightly as the highlights he's brought to the game. He certainly changed the way we started to play Test cricket. Well, he was one of the players that did, but he's unlikable.
Yeah, that's it.
The other thing is that I don't know if I'm the only one, but I get sick of his wife popping her head up and defending David all the time.
Well, what else is she going to do, mate? I mean, what's she going to do? And she knows she's going to create headlines because every time she does, there's another excuse for the tabloids to say Sonny Bill in the toilet, right?
Can you imagine if our partners had to put their hand up and defend us every time something went a little bit wobbly? I mean, it'd be embarrassing. My wife would be just like, you face it yourself. You got yourself here.
Yeah, that's it.
You got yourself here. There's no way I'm going on Channel 9 tonight to defend you again, Matt. So I think I'd be on her. So Candice Warner, I suppose in one way I should admire her because she is standing up for the man who's almost undefendable.
Let's be positive, LBP. Put the Black Caps and the White Ferns to one side. The Phoenix, top of the table at the moment. Contrast that with the Breakers. But we'll talk about the round ball to start with, football. And this is a side that is 4-2-0, and they're top of the table, and they deserve to be there. Cock-a-doodle-doo. This hasn't happened for, I think, 5 or 6 seasons now.
I see that this is only the 4th time a new coach has come in and not lost in the first 6 games of the season. 4 wins and a couple of draws. Looking pretty good, Martin. Probably lucky to get away with it over the weekend, but did nonetheless. Surely this is what football in New Zealand needs, is a winning side. We see what it does for basketball. We've seen last season what it did, or this year, but last season what it did for rugby league. Surely football must take off now on the back of the Phoenix, bringing some success. Now, I know people are saying, well, how long will they be there and how long will this last? Well, it started pretty well, so why wouldn't it continue?
Noticed on the weekend as well, a lot of hoo-ha made about one of the Phoenix women quitting, vice-captain, and her citing financial problems as much as anything else. But again, this whole pay parity argument that comes up, and it's hard to feel, to me, that much empathy for somebody who says, oh, look, I've got a mortgage in Auckland and I'm renting a house in Wellington and I need more money. Well, we all need more money. I mean, that's it. I mean, I'd love to ask dear leader for double the salary, but if the business hasn't got the money and can't afford it. You talked about a product here, Matt, that 1,700 or 1,500 go to watch the Phoenix women in Wellington. I went along a couple of weekends ago here in Auckland. The men and the women were playing a double header. There was only 5,000 paying customers. That doesn't even cover your airfares and accommodation and hiring that ground. It's all well and good to say we deserve more money, but if you're going to be a professional, shouldn't you actually get into a professional headspace, which is this is a business? And at some stage, somebody is going to pull the pin and say, I'm not going to wear the losses anymore. If you're that good and your product is that good, go and sell it to an audience. Isn't that a fair argument?
Well, that's just how business works. I mean, there's been plenty of great ideas and great people trying to run businesses over the years that have gone broke. And the reality is if you've got a product that people don't pay for, you're not going to make it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Look, I don't understand where athletes come from saying they deserve more money just flat out because they do. There's plenty of people working on farms, or they're, filling ditches, or they're emptying our rubbish. They all deserve more money too. But at the end of the day, not everything creates enough money for everyone to get paid the money that they want. And if nobody's interested, that says it all. And it's a reflection of the players. It's a reflection of the quality of the game. People know the difference between good and bad. And if they're seeing what they perceive as an average product, they stay away.
Well, that's simple as that, isn't it? Look, I watched a little bit of the Big Bash on the weekend, the end of the women's game, and to be honest, good God, the cricket was lame. And look, it was a close game, and maybe it was exciting, but this is what, you can't demand an audience. You can't blackmail an audience. You can't bludgeon an audience. It's the same. I mean, look at English football. I mean, there are some grounds that pack out every week. There are some that don't pack out every week. People vote with their feet. That's the point. If the punters aren't coming, the advertisers aren't there, the TV audience isn't there, well, what happens is that you just don't get as much money at the end of it as you want. I just don't see how this recipe isn't actually understood by everyone that puts a pair of boots on.
I don't know anyone that doesn't think we all deserve to be treated equally and paid fairly, but we don't all deserve to be paid the same. And the reflection of pay always comes back to the reflection of interest. So it's just that simple. It's just that simple.
That's what economics is in a democracy, isn't it? Mm.
Well, it is the way it is. Some people run a business successfully. They've got a restaurant, they sell it, it goes broke. Often it's about the people that run the businesses that make them successful. And if you pay people well, obviously, the idea is that you get better. But if we paid all these footballers $1 million or more dollars a year, would the game be any better? And at the moment, I think the answer would be no. The quality of the game doesn't exist yet. Not to say it never will, but when it does, it will pay its own way. It's just that simple.
Let's finish on the Breakers then. Can they still make the top 6, 4 and 8 at the moment? They just kind of seem to be going one step forward, one step back.
Very patchy performances. I don't see them as a playoff winning team. Whether they make it or not, I don't think matters, Martin. I don't think they're just not gelled yet. They just don't have what we saw them deliver last year, which wasn't quite enough, but almost enough. No, I'd say the Breakers are wrapping up their season, thinking about the next one. But you never know. But history would suggest that it's all over.
Finally, your Liverpool are doing all right. I'll give you a let's be positive to finish on that, mate.
4 goals on the weekend, a 4-3 victory, feeling pretty good about it all. I don't know how you're feeling. How did yesterday go?
No, not that well, mate, to be honest.
Oh, that's right.
No, we didn't fire
pipped.
A shot. No, they should have beaten us 5-0, to be fair.
You were pipped at the post. I see the interesting thing about the table at the moment is in terms of goal differential, you're -1.
Yeah.
You've only scored 16 goals, 17 against.
That's it.
You look at the quality of the league. Liverpool, 32 goals, 14 against. The goal differential of 18, 17 above your boys. So even though you're hanging around the top 8, Martin, it's not the NRL. It doesn't mean anything, does it?